No.
Let me see. Hello, hello. Yeah. We are live.
Live.
And I say we. The boys and I. Whoops. We're trying to get situated. The boys are here too. If you guys have any questions for the boys, we're going to go ahead and do a couple of question answer with the boys. But we'll just wait a little bit, see if anybody pops on. It's late. If you guys don't pop on, then we'll probably just do live tomorrow. It's 10:30 Pacific Standard Time, so it may be a bit late for everybody. Let's see. Let's see if we got anybody. Not yet, not yet. It is late. I don't blame anybody for not being like YouTube ready at 10:30 at night. Let's see. In any event, welcome back to my channel. It's an Amber thing. I am Amber. This is Brayden. And this is Avery.
You always see me in the videos.
Okay, let's give people a little bit of time just in case. Just in case we got some late night stragglers that are coming on. Oh, man. All right, let's see. We got 10 people. We got 10 people that commented, so I had to do live tonight. I had to. Oh, hi, Vinny. Hi, Peter. So we're going to do question and answer. We have the boys. If you have anything you want to ask the boys, if you have anything you want to ask me, I will be addressing a few of the questions that I got on the post that I had left. And I'm just going to wait a little while. Vinny, it's late where you are. Let's see.
Wait,
Let's see. We have 3. We have 3. All right, we'll just get started. Does anybody have any question for the boys while they're here?
Yeah. Do you have any questions for us?
Let me see if I can get into the feed from my.
These shaper shorts make all my clothes.
How do you get ads,
Now I
Mom?
can wear my favorite dress.
Because hold on. There.
That was just an ad.
What is my view on the New World Order?
What is my view on
And the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society? The New World Order.
Bible Tract Society?
Let's turn this down because I'm hearing myself like 2 times. It's weird. Okay, Peter's asking, how old are you guys?
I'm 9 and
How old
I'm
are
6.
you? Get in the are you looking?
I'm 6.
9 and 6.
He's 9 and I'm 6. Turning 10 in a few months.
It's weird. There's like a lag because I'm like watching it on here too, so I can look at the feed because it doesn't come up on my phone. And so like this is behind what I'm actually doing here. It's so strange to see it like that. But okay, I am gonna get to that question, Peter, about the New World Order and the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society. But I wanted to really quick go back and answer some of the questions that were in the post. And the first one there was, when you were a Jehovah's Witness, did you treat people wrong that you thought were bad association inside the Kingdom Hall, but they were just people that had different mindsets and not really living a double life, but were trying to make you see things were not as the org made it seem? That's a really good question. Did I treat people wrong that I thought were bad association? No, I wasn't really that person. Okay. Within the organization, I wasn't that person that was like, ooh, you know, you're bad association. I was the one more that people looked at like, we don't know about you. Like, you know, you don't just fall in line and do as you're told. You always have questions, or you want to hang out with the young ones and get them out doing things. And so I was the one that always was looked at like I was the weird one. I was like the odd man out. So I was never the one that was looking at anybody else like like they were headed towards apostasy, or like I thought that they were bad association. I did, however, I'm going to take this a little step further, but I do remember on many occasions when I would face people that were not within the organization being very snubby and being a lot like how we now on the outside, how we're treated. I did a lot of that. And that's why, to a degree, I understand a lot of it. Like when we get all this crap. I mean, I wasn't as bad as Darrow. I don't think anybody, I don't know, maybe. But I did for sure, like with people outside of the organization, if I would take some things in, but I would always like really quickly feel like that wall come up where I would start to get angry, and I didn't want to hear what people had to say because I was told always not to. And I was very robotic at a point where I just, would... Okay, you guys are distracting me, so you're gonna have to get out now. Okay, questions for you were over.
What about me?
You, over. Let me see. I'm going to look in the live feed, and if there's nothing there for you, then you're over. Nope, nothing there. Go. Bye.
I'm here in the corner.
Yeah, they're not listening to me at all. Let's see. They are. They're putting, yeah, they're putting quite a little show on. Yeah, so I do remember that part, but not ever. I don't ever remember being like snubby towards anybody within the organization. What are you doing back there, silly? Are you kissing your arms? Are you like having a gun show back there? What's going on? Give me 1 minute. Okay, it's time. Come on.
Okay. I'm gonna go play my video game.
Okay. Thank you for entertaining everybody for a little while. Thank you for answering the questions. Please listen. I don't want to get upset with you. Please listen. Thank you.
I brought a snack. Can I get a snack?
Yes, one snack.
Ooh.
So Peter's saying, I see people for who they are, and I choose to judge people. Wait. Who they are, and I choose to judge people. I am a person who is straight up and try not to judge or be as nasty as Darrow. I think we all make an effort not to be as nasty as Darrow. I think he's pretty bad. I don't know. I haven't like looked at any of his stuff recently, so I don't know like if he is still on a rampage or if he's calmed down. I don't know what's going on with him. But let me see. The next question was and this is from the post that I did earlier. But the craziest atheist, I think that's what it is, or no, I think it's atheist. Okay, is the extra Jehovah's Witness community just like I thought it would be? I didn't really have any kind of preconceived notions about what the extra Jehovah's Witness community would be like. And I think that for the most part, everybody is really amazing. There has been a few surprises along the way where, I think that I have been a lot more trusting with people because I feel like we all came from the organization. So I guess there's a sense of like, I don't know if I want to say family, but like a sense that we all kind of came from the same place and that we have like a similar belief system or something like that kind of like I seem to like overlook some things, or I don't catch things right away like that I should catch, and that's been a little bit disturbing at points. I can't lie. I think that there's been some times where I've been like really taken back by some of the things that happen within the community with certain people, but for the most part I think there's a lot of great people out there that are really trying to do their best to, like, you know, make a difference with regards to getting the message out, with sharing their experiences and you know, trying to help others. Let's see if there was any. Marco Garcia asks, what did you dislike about the JW organization? Where do I start? There's so many things that I dislike about the organization, and when I was within it, I think one thing was that I really didn't like how cliquey it was. It was like either you're in the in crowd or you're not. And that can make or break a lot of the experience for you as well. Because if you're not in the in crowd, then you're kind of just like left to the side, kind of like how I was. And, you know, you don't have too much association. And being that you're not really allowed to have any kind of relationships outside of the organization, if you're also not having too many, you know, like friendships and relationships within the organization, it makes things really lonely. And so that was one of the things I didn't like. Another thing that I didn't like is just how I feel like there was a lot of abuse taking place within the organization. I feel like, oh, my son, that's Extreme Gaming, is my son Brayden. He's saying hi. So okay. So yeah, there was a lot of, and I would say like the type of there's all kinds of abuse that happens within the organization, but within my household there was a lot of abuse between like my mother and my father, a lot of abuse from my father towards us children. I didn't like that. I felt like it was very like a double standard. I felt like when we were at the Kingdom Hall, everything was all good, and you know, everybody was nice as pie, and that wasn't our reality at home. And so I really hated that double standard. I also didn't like the fact that, you know, as a child growing up within the organization, there was just so many limitations. It was really hard, you know, growing up as a child within a family that was Jehovah's Witness, and not only that, but having a family that kind of, I mean, a not even really high titled family, but a family that held responsibility within the organization. It made it really tough for us, like in school. That was really hard to deal with. It was something I didn't like at all, like having to be so different from everybody, having to be, you know, prepared for every holiday that came up, having to miss, I guess it wasn't even as much like missing the holidays that I didn't like. It was the fact that we would like get literally pulled out of class and have to go to the library, and we really were like, I really always just felt like such an oddball all the time because of it. And I think I carried a lot of that with me up into my adulthood, you know, like just feeling really odd and out of place, and like I didn't fit in. I didn't like that. There wasn't much that I appreciated about being in that organization. And I don't know if it was, you know, because my family, you know, was who we were. Like my dad was a ministerial servant, my mom was a pioneer, and so we were really like, I feel like we were under a microscope a lot of the time. We were always involved with, like, I've had parts in assemblies, in dramas, in district conventions, in the circuit assemblies, within the hall. We always had to be up on stage, you know, giving parts and things like that. And I didn't always like being the center of attention like that. I didn't always like to be looked at like, you know, oh, well, if so-and-so family, you know, I didn't like being that exemplary family, because there was a lot more to that. It was a lot of pressure that came with all of that. And when there's pressure in a family, then there's a lot of in ours at least, there was a lot of fighting, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling at home, a lot of like very high expectations for us as children that I think, you know, as children, you shouldn't have that much pressure. So those are just to name a couple of the things that I really didn't appreciate about being one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Let me see if there's anything back in this feed. Okay, I'm going to go to the live feed now, and I'm going to look at that. We have 8 people. Yay! I didn't think it was going to be, you know, that many people because it's so late, but I appreciate you all for being here. Let's see. Oh, he is still on a rampage, saying the same things over and over again. That man, I think he has to just like literally hate himself to have all these nasty things come out all the time. I mean, he just can't have any. He must just really have a lot of disgust for himself. That's all I can say about that. He does have a very abusive mouth. Let's see. I'm trying to skim through and see if I. Who is he? You know what? I heard something about somebody else. Peter, you were saying something. I think that there's like Mike Hawk or something like that that also is like talking a lot of trash about like Vinny and I and others. Is that right? I can't find his channel, so if you get a chance to like get a link to his channel, send it to me because I'd like to see what this person is saying. Veins as friends, don't worry, I was told by an elder I was no longer allowed in my hall. Erased from your list, like from a list at the Kingdom Hall. I don't understand that one. Explain that one a little bit further, please. Yeah, abuse is not good, especially with kids in the Kingdom Hall. What are my thoughts on Paradise Earth science? Paradise on Earth, are you meaning like, this is to Robert, are you meaning like the new system, Paradise on Earth? Please explain on that a little bit more too. Yes, I'm hoping that Dara will choke on his word one day. I hope he chokes on something. I hope he does it on air too, and then it goes to, you know, like we get to see it all. Because, I mean, what good is it if we can't even witness it? I know, that's mean. It's mean. I know. But, let's see. Did I miss anybody? So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about some of this abuse. I think it's kind of important to talk about some of this because I don't know that it's kind of harder to talk about these kinds of things. Like we come out and we tell a lot of stories about, you know, things that have happened within the organization, but I know, like for me especially, I have really held back on talking about some of the abuse that's happened within my family. And I think that it's really important to kind of say something about some of these things because I know that I can't be the only one. But, you know, for a really long time, it was very chaotic within our household. I mean, I can't even say for a really long time. It was like always chaotic in our household. And as long as I can remember, we were one of Jehovah's Witnesses. And so I really like it. It baffles me at times when I think back at some of the things that took place within our household, how we could have been an exemplary family, and had these kinds of things going on. But I'm going to just talk a little bit about it because I don't want anybody else out there that has maybe experienced some of the same things to, you know, feel like maybe they're the only ones. It's okay to talk about these things. Like, I think that too, like being on air, and I've said this before, being able to have this forum to speak to all of you has been very, you know, healing. And I think that as I continue to do it, it really enables me more and more to be able to get some of these things out. You know, once they're out, you know, then you can start to heal from them. But I had made a video quite a while ago about the alcoholism within my household. And I know my stepfather was a big drinker. And a lot of the elders in our congregation were really big drinkers. They would come over and they would hang out, and they would be getting drunk, and a lot of times after they would leave, things would turn very abusive within our household. And I was my mother's daughter, and my father, he was my stepfather. So I took the brunt of a lot of the abuse in the household because I wasn't my stepdad's child. And I think there was a lot of times where he would look at me as, that other guy's daughter, and be very mean and, and evil towards me. But I can't say that I was the only one. My little brother took a lot of crap from my dad too, but I mean, we knew when we went to that Kingdom Hall and we were at the meeting that we had to sit there. And I mean, if we used the restroom once, that was okay. If we used the restroom twice, we would know that we were going to be getting spanked when we got home, because we were getting it just to play, not really to go to the restroom. But it was never anything that anybody ever saw. Like, no one in the Kingdom Hall would ever have a clue that we were, so good, because we were getting our asses whooped at home. Like, it was bad. And even there at the Kingdom Hall, like, if we got up for the bathroom a third time, like, we would literally get a tap on the shoulder from my dad, because he would always be standing in the back, because a lot of the ministerial servants or the elders, they would stand in the back and kind of monitor what was going on within the congregation. And if we got that tap on the shoulder, it was because we were getting up right then and there and going outside and getting our asses whooped right outside the Kingdom Hall. I wonder if any of that, did you guys? Yeah, it was not fun. It made it really hard. And I remember times too, like, where I would be sick. Like, I would literally, like, be sick, like have the flu, or, just be sick. And if I asked my mom or told my mom, I remember one time specifically that I had gone to the restroom because I had to throw up. And I came back and told my mom, like, I just threw up, like, I need to go home. I'm not feeling well. And she said, if we go home, you're going to be on restriction for a month. Like, it was not okay to miss a meeting, even if your children were throwing up sick. Like, we have to be here because, your dad's a ministerial servant. He has to do books, or he has to run mics, or he has to do this, or he has to do that. And if we have to miss a meeting because of you, you're going to suffer for it, basically was the tone in my household. I'm sure it's like that for a lot, because I remember even, like, talking to my same age friends that were in the Kingdom Hall that experienced a lot of the same things, and our parents were all friends, and, and that kind of thing. But let me see if there's anything. Peter says, I've been looking into Order of the Catholic Church and Jehovah's Witnesses, and the ranking system is very similar to Jehovah's Witnesses, as they have the Pope, cardinals. The Catholic religion is, I had actually, with the Catholic religion, I don't know a whole lot about it. Like, the research I've done, I don't have any positive thing to say about the Catholic religion whatsoever. I know that it's kind of like the root of everything that is not good within society. It is like the underlying factor for a lot of, like, the way that the Bible's written and all kinds of different things like that. So I don't really, I mean, I went to a couple of church, what do they call them, like meetings or Sunday services or whatever it was, with my daughter's grandmother. Hold on one second.
I made something to live stream because I'm going to play my video game.
Okay, we're not going to do that right now. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So I don't know about how similar they are, because from like just being to a couple of church meetings or whatever, they seem a lot different to me, but I don't know. Let's see. Oh, it looks like I keep going backwards. No, let's see. Oh, okay. You were accused by a friend, and then the judiciary elder behind it. Oh, that's not cool. That's not cool. Robert says, I guess the new system on earth isn't real. What do I think? And about heaven and etc. I don't think it's going to be anything like what the Jehovah's Witnesses have taught. I don't think that there's going to be like this Armageddon that takes place where there's going to be just a specific group of people who have to clean up the mess of dead bodies that are going to be left behind, and then we'll be like walking in a single file line on, you know, a narrow road into a paradise earth. No, I don't think that exists whatsoever. I do believe that the earth was meant to be paradise from the beginning, and I do believe that a lot of things have gone awry since then, but no, I don't believe anything like that whatsoever. With regards to heaven, what do I think about heaven? I did a video. It was a live video. If you haven't had a chance to see it, it's the one where I'm turned to the side and everybody had to watch me like this. But I talk about my memories of heaven and, you know, what I think about those things in that video. So go back and take a look at that video. And if we have time towards the end, I'll kind of go back through that again, but I want to see if I have any other questions that I haven't covered in the past. Oh, Peter, Mike, that he removed the video. Okay, if you find it, let me know. I'm curious. I went and I was like looking through. There's like a bunch of Mike Hawks. So I was like searching and searching and searching, and I didn't find anything. So let's see. Am I saying that right? So fiends as friends. I used to go to the store and get candy from the corner store or a hamburger, and I ate it in the second room. They named the second room to me for being in there every week. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, let's see. My makeup is on way too heavy. Thank you for that. Gertrude. And I should remove the earring from my mouth. It takes away from my beautiful features. Okay. You look like a sex worker. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. My ex-husband was an abusive alcoholic Jehovah's Witness. My daughter was 9 when I married him, and right after that, the truth about how he felt about her came out. He hated that. Brenda, that's hard, because that's how I felt too. I felt like my stepdad hated me, and it wasn't my fault. You know, I was brought into this world, and I was with my mom when he met her, and it wasn't a problem at that point, but it sure seemed to be a problem, you know, a lot of time after that. There was a lot that happened in my household with that. That was, you know, really sad and unnecessary. But I will say that since then, that I, at this point, can look back at a lot of things that my stepfather added that were positive, and so I kind of try and choose to look at those things instead of remember all of the traumatic things. But I do want to talk about, you know, some of those things that did happen, because I feel like, you know, I want people to know that they're not alone in some of these things that I've experienced. Other people are experiencing them too, I'm sure. Braden, he's still on here. Love you, Mom. Love you, Braden. Yes, Vinny says there's nothing positive at the Catholic Church or about the Catholic Church, and that's true. And then Fiends a Friend says that his aunt taught, I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm putting a man or a female on that, and I'm not sure, but they said my aunt taught Sunday school and then she left. And there will be no end. You know, the only end that I think is going to happen is if we continue to allow for AI to progress. I think that will be the end of humanity. If AI progresses to a point where there is no longer a need for human beings, which there won't be if AI progresses the way that it looks like it's going to, that's a scary thought. And that would be where I see an end to humankind coming, but not the way that any church has ever, you know, described the end coming. That's just my 2 cents. Let's see. Let's see. Brenda says, I left him several times during the marriage. And then it finally ended when he attacked us and hit my child with oh my gosh. And he wound up in jail. But the elders got him. Are you kidding me? With all of that, that's insanity. Wow, I'm so sorry you went through that. That is awful. I'm gonna say something. This is really hard for me to say, but it goes along with what Brenda is saying here. And just say it, Amber. So when my ex-husband and I were going through our problems, and he was a witness. We were, you know, witnesses together with our children. And it was towards the end of our relationship. There was a lot that had gone on. Nobody was perfect in that relationship. But there was an evening where he came over and we were going to talk, and we were going to, you know, try and like figure out if there was anything salvageable, you know, within our marriage. And I got a phone call during our conversation. I went to answer, and he got very upset. And truth be told, we had both been drinking a little bit, so there was alcohol that was involved. You know, not crazy amounts of alcohol. We probably had both had like a beer or 2. That was it. But I went to answer that phone call, and he got very angry with me, and he hit me. And I'm not the kind of person who is going to allow that kind of thing to happen to me without a fight. And so I remember he like backhanded me, boom, and I went flying, and I, you know, like hit the bed, got up and came back, and he hit me again, boom, backhanded me. And I went, it happened 3 times. At that point, you know, my oldest daughter had woken up, and she had called the police. The police came, and I had, you know, a big bruise on my face where I had been backhanded, and he fled. So I remember when the police got there, it was really embarrassing because they had me stand outside, and they had lights from the crime. It was like they call it like the crime unit van had come. And so they had like bright lights out there, and they were taking pictures of my face, taking pictures of, because a couple of things had gotten broken in the house. They came through, they were taking pictures. And then there were several officers that were in pursuit following him as he had left the house. When he finally pulled over, they had, you know, of course, pulled him out of the car, and they had searched his vehicle, and he had a crowbar under his car, which is really scary to me because I don't know what his intentions were with that whatsoever. But he ended up going to jail that evening, and this was the incident that happened around me being disfellowshipped, and the reason why I wasn't willing to go back to him was because that abuse had taken place, and I was at the point where I was like, I will not be abused. And so when I had that elders meeting, I ended up getting disfellowshipped, and he did not. So I know how very unfair that can feel. So Brenda, like, I understand, and I'm so sorry you went through that. That's awful, awful. So let me see. Paradise Earth is a sham. Yep, that's very true. It's the carrot. The paradise earth is the carrot at the end of the stick that they keep dangling so that you keep on following. They can't remove that. If they remove that, then they remove everything that means anything to anybody. The only reason why people are truly following this religion, if you remember, like, going to door, it was always about, there's going to be a better day, there's going to be a better time, there's, will sickness and death ever end, so they can't remove that carrot. So you're absolutely right, it's a sham. Let's see. Jehovah's Witness teaches to hate family when they don't become something. That's so true. They do. I feel like they want to cut you off from anything and anybody who could take you away from you keeping your eyes on that prize. So yeah, with the quickness, they have people shun their families. I'm shunned. My mom, is probably about 2 weeks ago, I messaged my mom, and I don't want to be disrespectful towards her because I love her. She's my mother. And I understand that this is something that means a lot to her. So I don't call her, but I will text message her. And I text messaged her and I let her know, that I missed her. And she said that she missed me. And then I asked her if I was going to ever see her again. And she said, I hope so. And I just lost my shit. I just cried and cried because to me that wasn't good enough. I wanted really for her to say, yes, of course, like whenever you come down and visit or, something like that. But that wasn't the case. So yeah, I feel like even, with your children, if the parents are the ones that are in, if it's the children that are in, it's it doesn't matter who you are. If you're not within that organization, they don't want you to have anything to do with them. So they most definitely, if you're not one of their zombies, then you're cut off. Okay, you're male. Then I was right. I was saying he. Let's see. Not kidding at all. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, so like even like in my early videos where I kind of talked about like being disfellowshipped and things, this is the first time I've ever said anything about, any of the situation that took place with my ex-husband and I have gotten so many comments about, well, you had to have done something, horribly wrong. You had to have been an adulteress. You had to have been, like, no, I didn't have to be all of those things. There were, like I said, neither one of us were perfect in our relationship, but when it came down to it and that abuse was taking place, it wasn't me that they stood up for. But then again, remember, I have been telling you guys all along that I was always more the person who was like questioning things, and I'm just not that kind of person who just closes my eyes and blindly follows. Like, I just don't do that. So I was never one that they were too keen on keeping anyways, because I was probably the one that was gonna warn others or something. I don't know. So as soon as they had the opportunity, I was pushed out. And I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it because the very next day, there was a gathering. There was a witness gathering, and I had like contemplating maybe not going because my face was so bruised. And then it was a graduation. And I don't know, something happened that ended up compelling me to go ahead and go. And so there were a great deal of brothers and sisters that were within our congregation that knew what happened because they saw it like the day after. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I was like black and blue, you know, like I got backhanded, it was pretty bad. So, you know, even with all of the witnesses seeing me and my face being bruised and all of that, it still wasn't enough that, you know, he was the one disciplined. It was me who, you know, because I wasn't willing to stay within the marriage any longer, it was me who got disfellowshipped. But, let's see. Yeah. I'm sorry, Fiends of Friends, you were abused by your ex-wife. And that happens a lot too. That happens a lot more than people like to say. Raza, hey, I'm so glad you're here. It's probably really late for you. Thank you for being here. Yes, it is important, Brenda, that we enjoy our lives to the fullest. Like, these are things that we experienced. There's something to learn from everything that we experience. So let's just learn it and be happy and not repeat it. That's so good, Rosa. I'm so glad that you're able to see your mom. That makes me happy. It does. There is a difference, like, you know, from someone who is baptized and someone who is not. The way that they treat those people, you know. So if you didn't take that oath, if you didn't make that oath, you know, then you're still okay for them to talk to. I think that there's still like some kind of like they're supposed to be careful careful with their interactions, but there isn't like a hard fast no, you cannot speak to that, you know, that person anymore. I'm having trouble. I think my internet is being wacky. I can't see any of the questions anymore. Ruben, hello. Let's see. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it's funny that you say that. The baptism is a job. It's you're interviewed. Let me see if I can get all this. Did I even say that right? All messages are visible. Let's see. Oh, cool. Okay. Michael, hi. Andy, hi. I haven't seen you in a while. Let's see. I'm gonna just try and like look at some of the questions here because, oh, okay. I think maybe my other phone is back on. No, maybe not. I'm telling you, don't get Samsung Galaxy because it's a piece. I have problems with it all the time, but my iPhone is just fine. Let's see. I can't. Okay, here we go. An LG. I haven't even heard LG for so long. I used to have an LG. I used to be like, LG's my phone. But let me see. Galaxy sucks. Yes, it does. My daughter was like, I told you should have got an iPhone. Well, I mean, I kind of did, my work phone, but it's not the phone that I use all the time, so. I'm so sorry, you guys. It's like lagging and I can't see these darn questions on here. But so I have been away for a little while. The kids got out of school. Apple sucks harder? What do you mean? Oh, okay, because you're LG. The kids got out of school. They've been out of school for a week now. And so it has been crazy busy at home. So as much as I have been wanting to get on and make videos, it's just like too crazy busy. And I also have been kind of like, I don't know if I've run out. I don't want to be redundant, you know, like I don't want to keep saying the same things over again. I don't want you guys to come to my channel and be like, oh, well, she talked about that already, or she talked about that already. And there's so many people talking about so many things. I feel like like the vast majority of people have covered everything that there is to cover out there. And so I've kind of just been like, but I would like to, you know, like start doing a little bit more of talking about the healing aspects of, you know, like of the aftermath of, you know, what we've been involved in, because it's been so hardcore. Did everybody get a chance to see the video that I did about baptism, the oath, and the contract that was made? Because if you haven't, I'd really like for you guys to watch that. I really felt like that was such an important video that I was like put on. I feel like I was on assignment from a higher force for that one, because it's not something that I had been searching and searching, you know, like within myself, like what can I talk about? What can I talk about that's going to make a difference? And I've been doing a lot of meditation on those things. And that was what had come through on my meditation, was talking about the baptism, you know, that the oath that we took. And so I did go a little bit into that on one of my videos. And so if you haven't seen it, please, please, please watch that video. Okay, I'm going to try and see if there's, all right, I'm going to see if I can, I wonder if it'll come back. Okay. You seen a JW cart today? Wonderful. Oh, watchful and alert. I can't. The governing body. See. And I also did want to go back, and I wanted to do like I wanted to do a channel review for you guys, because there's so many amazing, this is what I've got going on, you guys. This is how I'm trying to communicate with you guys, and this is what I've got. Isn't that fun? And like I can't see. Maybe I can pull it up on my computer. Let's see. But it is 11:30, so let's see if maybe I can pull up the chat on here. My computer's a little bit outdated, so my makeup's bad, huh? And my lip ring makes me look like, what did she say? Let me go back. Is it gone? Maybe it's gone. I don't know. I gotta laugh at some of those things sometimes, you guys, because like, I don't know, that's the least of my worries about like life in general, is how people think I look. Okay, let's see. I can be everything. I think it's just my internet is completely crazy right now. Vinny, what's going on? Inbox me. All right, I can't really see any of the chat anymore, but I know it's getting super late, and I just thank you guys for being here. I'm going to end this one for now. I'm going to start doing more live videos, because I just like being able to interact. Is way more fun for me than just sitting there, you know, like talking to myself and then posting a video. So, well, it's early, no? Let's see if I got anything. No, it's so hard. Look, I can't like, and that's all old feed too. Aloha, Andy. Lots of unconditional love right back at you. All right, you guys, this is going to be the end of this live stream. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you have any questions, anything that I didn't get to answer, I'll look back in the feed and then I will answer them. Good night, Vinny. I'll answer them in another video later, or if you watch this video, you know, tomorrow or, you know, some point after, then go ahead and drop me some questions in the comment section and I'll make sure to get to those. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Talk to you all soon. Let's see if I can turn it off. It's not letting me.